Hey friends, it's Haley. Today's video is one that I am thrilled to death with because this is one of those topics that I sort of go back and forth on, and that's series versus standalones. I understand the merits of both. Like, you know, I get series are great because more of the story, so that's always wonderful, but also so much more waiting. So much more. So, I do love a good standalone. I love a good standalone because I get, like, I just, closure. I get closure and I don't have to wait for it, which I super appreciate. So, despite my love of series, which, you know, is not a secret, things like Hello Throne of Glass series. Y'all know my thing with Percy Jackson. Hello Lunar Chronicles. I feel like the vast majority of YA is series, you know, be it extended series or trilogies or duologies, so it's rare for me to find just a single standalone. One story. Just want to read it one time. No, I'll read it a lot of times, but like, just one. So, let's take a look at some fun standalones. So, first one on the list, Jane Steele. This was marketed as a sort of retelling of the classic Jane Eyre. If you saw my Q&A video, you know that Jane Eyre is one of my all-time favorite books. So I was really excited to read this one. I thought it would be a really interesting idea to sort of take a different look at a classic rather than, because normally what you see is like a fairy tale retelling, so I thought this would be interesting. I loved this. So Jane Eyre is that gothic, sort of dark, melancholy story, and this one was dark in a different way. Like, it was grittier, it was gorier. Not that it was like gory and gross, but like the first line is, "Reader, I murdered him." Okay, turns out that's not the first line. The first line is, "Of all my many murders committed for love and for better reasons, the first was the most important." Lots of murder. The other thing that was interesting is that the main character actually was like reading Jane Eyre as the story progressed forward, and so she was sort of comparing. It's not really a retelling per se, but this main character is drawing connections between her life and Jane Eyre. So I thought this was really great. I highly recommend it. Super fun read. Next up, East. Well, this one's called Northchild because this is the UK edition, but this one was, it's more of a kid's book. I don't know if I'd call it middle grade or children's. This is one that I can read over and over and over again. I loved the main character in this. Her name's Rose, and she's one of those really fiercely independent main characters. She, you know, is sort of the black sheep of the family. It's a retelling of East of the Sun, West of the Moon, and you know, she has to go on this journey to sort of fix something that she did. She made a mistake, she's got to fix it and sort of be the hero of the story. This one I think I loved because it takes place in like the Arctic, and I've always been fascinated by the Arctic. I've always wanted to go to Alaska, and there's this whole theme of compasses in there, and I loved that part of it as well. So love this one. Next up, Night Circus by Eyre Morgenstern. This was one of the luckiest buys that I have ever had. I was on a trip to God knows where. I don't even know where I was going. I was in an airport. My Kindle had run out of battery. I forgot the charger, and I was like, all right, we'll go to the airport, you know, bookstore, as ridiculous as it is, and I'll try and find something that looks interesting. So I picked up the Night Circus, finished it before my plane landed. I think this is one of the most beautifully written books that I have ever read. Normally I'm a sentence reader, I sort of skim. This is one of those that you have to read word for word because each word has a purpose. Each one just adds something wonderful to the story, and so this, I got lucky because most airport books are kind of awful, so lucky me. Last one for today, Vengence Road by Erin Bowman. Okay, now I know she's coming out with a companion novel, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I believe it's like different characters, so you're allowed to correct me if I'm wrong, but do it gently because I'm fragile. This one to me, I consider a standalone because from start to finish, the story is concluded. It wraps up, it's done. So this one was my first foray into Westerns at all. Never seen a Western film, never read another Western book. I had no idea what to expect going into this, and I thought it was wonderful. It, again, is sort of that gritty, unapologetic main character, which I really, really have a penchant for if you know me even a little bit. So this one I thought was another great, wonderful standalone. So that's all I have for today. Those are the standalones. There are not very many that I know of off the top of my head, so if you have any standalones that you love and have read and, you know, go back to, absolutely let me know down in the comments. I'd love to read more standalones while I wait an ungodly amount of time for my series to finish. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Bye. I need someone to come scratch my back. This isn't working.